Katana number 2, written by Ann Nesenti, art by Alex Sanchez. Last issue, Katana was attacked by the Sword Clan and seemingly held this one guy at sword point, I guess you want to call it, and says, "Oh, I'm going to be part of my own clan." So this issue picks up. Sorry, the guy was Coil. That's right, Coil at Sword Point. And so they're like, "Okay, you don't want to join Sword Clan?" It's like, "No, I don't want to do that." And they're like, "Should we keep fighting her?" And Coil's like, "Didn't you know? Nowadays, no means no." So they all just scatter to the winds. And I just want to point out that one line because it's said with so much sarcasm that I can't even begin to process the deeper meaning behind that. But regardless, everyone scatters, and Katana's like, "Okay, I can't keep up with like all the actual ninjas, so I'm just going to follow their weakest and slowest member and see where that follows me." So it ends up being this basically kid who seems like he didn't even want to fight at all. And mind you, they're in the San Francisco Zoo at this point, and she's like, "Oh, you're hiding near the lion exhibit. I will cut you up and feed you to them." And he's just like, "Hey, no, I don't." He's just like trying to keep away from her, not even swinging his sword. And she just keeps up all of the stuff. She's just like, "Oh, what's the matter? You don't know how to swing your sword? Hey, move your way over to the crocodile exhibit. They'll eat your rotten meat. You suck, dude." And the guy's like, "Hey, I don't want to fight. All right, I'm a pacifist. I don't even want to be here right now." And he's just like, "Now, can we just talk?" And she's like, "Oh, okay, yeah, sure. I guess we could do that." So they get up and they just sit over near the Golden Gate Bridge. And it's just like, "Yeah, my name is Thrust. I'm a member of this prestigious family, and they've always been Sword Clan. But, I don't want to fight. I want to be something better than that. So they kind of just call me Thrust as a joke now." And so Katana's like, "Cool. So do you want to be my spy?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure. Whatever. I don't care. Why not?" And so they introduce there's this party that's going to be going on, I think, that night. And she can go as Thrust's +1. So that's going to be happening. And then he asks, like, "Hey, I know you have some history with Coil and something happened to you in Tokyo." And it's just like, "Yes, it was this horrible thing. And there's a bunch of blood. And I just remember the feeling of flames on my feet and the knowing that my Soul Taker sword did something very bad." And he's like, "All right, cool. I'm going to introduce you to Sickle because he uses a sickle as his sword in order to scoop out enemy hearts." So then Tatsu is like, "Hey, remember that tattoo girl? I want to go see more of her. I need to see her face." And the lady who's acting as like the bouncer is like, "Oh, you want to see her face? That's $5,000. She's like, "I have 200. It's like, "Okay, I'll let you see her foot." And on her foot is a dragon tattoo. And she's like, "Dragons, that's not even real. You cheated me. Give me back my money." And then she says, "One present, two past, three the best. That's as real as it gets." And then she tells Tatsu to go get a job. So then Tatsu says, "Oh, I'm going to go talk to my landlady. She owns the bar. I'll just work there for some money." And then she has candy thrown at her by the local drunk over and over again. And she keeps on swatting them away until finally she kicks the sake out of the guy's hands and saying like, "Oh, you're drunk on sake." But then it turns out that the dude is actually a martial arts master, and he takes Tatsu down and manages to show her up entirely. And he makes the point of like, "You underestimated me because of my appearance. You need to be learning the same. Also, the only thing you know is karate. Maybe you should learn some other martial arts as well." And she's like, "Fair enough. You seem very wise, actually. So can I ask you what that riddle that lady gave me, the one present, two past thing?" And he's like, "Oh, third path could be future. Perhaps you've seen a piece of the future." And he's like, "Okay, dragons are the future. I don't get it, but regardless, we'll move on." So then she goes to the bar, asks her landlady for the job. Landlady's like, "Nah, I don't need a job. Like, I'm doing this fine on my own." And she's like, "Okay, well, how about this? I'll work for free today. I'll stop that fight that's about to break out at your bar, and then you'll hire me tomorrow because I did such a good job." Which we don't ever see if that works. But regardless, she gets dressed for her date at the party thing, the gala, and turns out her wisdom that she took away from the drunk is, "I'm going to dress in a blonde wig because everyone underestimates blondes." So she makes her way in there, and there's a sword fighting show up on stage, And apparently it is customary at the end of this sword fighting display that members from the audience can come up and have a friendly match of skill. And so immediately she not only throws away the costume, but she also gets into her katana outfit and says, like, I challenge you, Sickle, and all of those other sword fighting cheerleader girls. Because yes, they're cheerleading sword fighting girls. So she gets up there, she takes out the ladies, no problem at all. Although the Soul Taker sword takes over her body again in the middle of it. And she's like, oh, I can't control myself. My hands are burning. Ouch, ouch, ouch. But she takes them all out. Not killing them, but, disarming them. And then everyone claps for her. And Sickle's like, hey, congratulations. You beat all of us, including me. I totally was defeated. And he's like, I didn't even fight you. And he's like, yeah, no, hey, I get it. Look, you should join us in our little special clan thing. And she's like, I'll consider it, if only to keep my enemies closer. So then she's leaving that night, and she's accosted by somebody in the shadows. Turns out it's Colonel Steve Trevor, because if you forgot, Katana's a member of the Justice League of America. And Trevor's like, hey, there's a problem going on with Catwoman in Gotham. We need you to fly back to America to deal with that real quick. So, on your way. And then we get one last page of, in Gotham City, Killer Croc is going to fly to San Francisco because he heard about something about dragons and a sword that chopped down the last one. And it's probably the Soul Taker sword. Okay. All right. So this book is still finding its footing. It's very obvious it has not quite gotten fully done with its setup yet, and it's still trying to figure that out. If we're also having to balance the fact that she's in Justice League of America in her own book, I can't see this book making any sense before it ends up being canceled. It's not doing like anything right now. On top of that, we're setting up like this mystery behind what Katana's past is. And that's fine. I'm okay with it being this whole thing of like, oh, why can't she control her sword? And what was this horrible tragedy that befell her? But it doesn't even feel like that's the focus. The focus feels so much more on she's just trying to fight a general, vague gangland crime thing where there's always another enemy and her focus can be as vague as she wants it to be. I would just like a little more focus, I guess is what I'm saying. It feels like there's too much going on and not enough is being actually handled. I know we're only 2 issues in and we're still just setting up the pieces, but like the fact we're throwing Killer Croc into this when we still are just dealing with this whole sword, like where does Killer Croc fit into sword fighting? He doesn't. He's Killer Croc. Yeah. So yeah, have some issues. I hope they can be resolved, but this issue in particular, I'm giving it like a 5.5. It's a little bit better than straight down the middle, but that's only because art I enjoyed and at least I could follow it.